I'm joined in the studio by Kenny Hulshof. He's running for governor as a Republican candidate. I wanted to first start asking you a little bit about yourself. So tell me about your day job, where you grew up, where you went to school, your family.
Grew up here in Missouri, grew up in southeast Missouri, down in the boot heel on a family farm. I was an only kid, and so every summer except one, I worked on the farm. I mean, everybody pitched in. Even Mom was part of the operation, and so that was humble beginnings, but it was great. I mean, my folks never finished school, but they understood how important education was, and so they sacrificed, and I came here to the University of Missouri. It was an agricultural economics major, again, kid from the farm and ag econ, and then I felt I wanted to go on to go to law school to be an agricultural lawyer, and so I chose the University of Mississippi because they had a curriculum in that. But then fell in love with the courtroom and decided to focus my legal career in criminal justice, and so I was a court-appointed public defender for a couple of years and then a prosecutor for almost 10 after that, and then jumped in this political world, even though nobody in my family had ever really been involved in politics, but ran for Congress, and the first time fell flat back in 1994, but came close, and then ran again in 1996, and Columbia's been home. When I started working for the Attorney General in 1989, and was still single, and so I thought, should I live in Jefferson City or Columbia? And I said, I think I'll pick Columbia, and met my wife in the Attorney General's office, and Columbia's been home ever since then.
How does the experience you've had help prepare you for the job of governor?
You know, I think everyone has life experiences that they bring, and actually I talk a lot about those roots on the farm because they're, you learn things that are timeless and universal. I mean, you learn the value of work ethic, and just, we would have tough times on the farm, and you would help your neighbor, and so that strong work ethic, that moral foundation that my parents helped instill in me, the importance of family and faith, all of those things have helped me throughout whatever my endeavor. When I was trying murder cases for the state, the 12 years I've been in Congress representing this congressional district, and now as governor. But I think it also gives you a sense of, Missouri is an awesome state because we have so many abundant natural resources, and one of the things my father, again, just a very wise man, but you respect other people's points of view, stand on your own principles, but let's converse and let's decide how can we solve a problem. And those are all things that I think when you see the challenges that we have in our state, what troubles me as an outsider to Jefferson City is to witness how our state government has kind of eroded into the partisan battleground like we see in our nation's capital. And so, my style of governance, if you will, is to work collaboratively. Let's start from where you and I agree on a point, and then let's work until we can't agree any longer, but look how much we've accomplished in the interim. So all of that background on the farm, the work ethic, all of those things, I think, are what I bring to this race. And now my parents have passed. I'm a small business owner, which has given me a unique perspective to some of the challenges that we face, especially in this tough economic climate. All of those challenges that business owners face in dealing with the government and trying to pay the bills.
You mentioned working with members of the other party as sort of a collaborative type of way of governing, and that's one of the issues people have with the government, that many people don't work across the aisle. So how would you do that? I know you said you'd start with where you agree and then work out, but how would you work with members of the other party if you're elected governor?
We could, and unfortunately over the dozen years that I've been in Washington, D.C., our family stayed here in Columbia, and I make the commute back and forth, and Renee and the girls stay here in Columbia. But what I've witnessed over the last dozen years in Washington has been this reluctance, sometimes outright refusal, to work together. And we could get so much more accomplished in our government if you didn't care who got the credit. Probably, I look back over the highlight, legislatively, the highlight of my last dozen years was working with, believe it or not, Senator Ted Kennedy, when Bill Clinton was still in office, on something called Ticket to Work, the Ticket to Work law that helps individuals who have physical or mental challenges remain in the workforce. And it was a very collaborative process. And there were parts of, and I had the House bill. There were things about the bill that I had to give up. There were things, though, that the senator had that he modified too on his side. And so we had a bill that President Clinton signed that has helped the disability community get vocational services where they want to, not just at a state VR, but at a private VR, and also then addressing this idea that if you make $1 too much that you fall off the income cliff. You know, I'm not sure if your listeners understand all of that about the bill, but the point is that working across, I mean, as far as my political point of view, ideology, I can't think of anyone that I'm probably more distant from than Senator Ted Kennedy, the lion of the Senate. And a lot of this was done through staff too, but ultimately getting this accomplished. That's just one example, a highlight of my legislative career, where, and it started because we have a very active disability community right here in mid-Missouri who helped educate me that here is a challenge that we need to address. And so it bubbled up at the grassroots to come to their elected voice in the halls of government, to work across the aisle, and to do something that different points of view, different ideologies can agree to, and the president signs. I mean, that is a win-win-win all the way down the line. And so I use that example as what I would do as governor on all of these challenges, whether it's health care, whether it's education, whether it is obviously, again, our climate, how do we grow our economy. Neither side has all the good ideas, so why not take all good ideas, regardless of where they come from, and try to build a consensus to find solutions to our challenges.